How's everyone doing today? Welcome to another edition of CCR Team Training. As always, I'm Ryan. I'm your Director of Food and Beverage here at the club. To my left is Frank. He's our sous chef. Also to my left, the other partner in crime for all of these videos, our Food and Beverage Manager, Alien Clemma. We have a very, very cool installment today for Team Training. This is the first one. We're going to be back in the kitchen. As you can see, it's a bit of a different setup. All right, so today we're talking about a few very different things. First and foremost, very important, hand cleanliness and proper cleaning of your hands. We have this beautiful sink behind us, and also behind Anna right over there, we're going to probably show you how to clean your hands. Moving on from that, Frank, if you can step aside really quickly, we're going to move over towards this wonderful slicing machine. All right, we're going to talk about how to set it up to get ready to utilize, talk about how to properly use it. In this instance, we're going to show you how to slice lemons that we put in our water glasses, and then at the end, we're going to show you how to break it down and to properly clean and sanitize it. Okay, so this is a very important training session. We're really excited to incorporate the kitchen. Without any further ado, take it away, Frank. All right, let's go.
So step one in using kitchen equipment is to properly wash your hands. So Frank is going to show us how to properly wash your hands. First, you're gonna...
You want to make sure your water is hot.
All right.
So, wet your hands, soap in both hands.
And
Get under your fingernails.
you are going to want to sing happy birthday twice in your head to ensure that you're washing your hands for a good amount of time. As you can see, he's getting under his fingernails, he's getting his wrists as well, and he's using hot water and soap.
Alright, so before you use any kitchen equipment or work with any ready-to-eat foods, you want to put gloves on.
So when we use lemons and the slicer, we like to cut both ends off. So Frank is going to show you how to properly do that. First, you're going to grab the cutting board, put your gloves on.
So when you hold your knife, I like to hold it 2 fingers on top of the blade, curl the rest of your fingers under. Whenever you're holding your cutting product, always make sure your fingertips are nowhere exposed. Cut down across your knuckles, straight down.
Great, and now they're ready to go in the slicer. After both sides of the lemons are cut off, it's now time to use the slicer. So what is step one in using the slicer, Frank?
So before you slice, you have to make sure that your guard is pulled all the way back. If it's pushed forward, it will not guard. It will blink. If that happens, pull it all the way back. That is the on button.
So you pull it all the way back and then click that green on button.
And obviously the red one is the off. So when you're getting things ready to cut, always make sure your slicer is off. You don't want to do anything while it's running. So you put it in.
So you're gonna move this piece back, and then
This will hold whatever you're cutting in place. Push down, pull all the way back, on, and then this lever adjusts how thick you're gonna cut. So do a practice cut, and if that's too thin or too thick, you can adjust from here. A little too thin, right? So a little thicker. When you're cutting, no parts of your hands should go near the blade. Nice even strokes, pull all the way back before you push the other way.
as you can see the lemons falling from below. He's constantly pushing the slicer back and forth to create these slices.
And when your lemon is at the bottom, turn it off before you're taking anything away or try to grab anything under it.
That is a very important step.
Where you go to use your slicer, there's two settings. So manual, where you're pushing the whole time, or there's an automatic setting. If you pull this lever to the right, when you go to turn it on, it will immediately start going. So before you turn anything on, you're gonna put your product in. Adjust your thickness to where you want it, and then when you're ready to start, hit the on button, and it will slice for you. Just to make sure your machine is on manual, not auto. If it's on auto setting, as soon as you turn it on, it will start slicing. So straight down is manual. Before you do anything, you always want to make sure that you're set to 0, and then you can adjust where you like it. Then this is the guard, slides straight up and down. So if you're cutting a larger product, you're going to have to pull it up. We're doing lemon, so it's a much smaller product. Put it in the corner of your guard, push down to secure it, and then you're ready to slice.
Lastly, Frank is going to show us how to properly clean the slicer.
So step 1 to clean the slicer is always make sure that your slicer is unplugged from the wall. You never want to clean it while it's plugged in. You can actually bump it, turn it on. So to avoid any injury, make sure it's turned off. Step 2, remove your guard. Just turn this counterclockwise. Pulls out, and then this pulls straight up. Step 2. You also want to make sure that you're set to 0, so that if you do slip and push your hand across it, you won't cut yourself. That just turns and pulls off.
Hey, how are you?
Good. This pulls straight out. These 3 parts you take to the dish machine to be washed and run through the dishwasher.
Go into the dishwasher.
Yeah, I know. Exactly. Yeah. I don't think we have to go on, but
Slicer, first want to clean it with detergent water or soapy water. That's for the green buckets. And then after you rinse it and washed it, you want to sanitize it. Sanitizer goes in the red bucket. So when you go to wash it, just start from the top of the machine. Making sure you get any debris or liquid off of it. This slicer does have the ability to come up if you just lift from the bottom. So you can also rinse under the slicer. Always make sure you wash the back side of the blade as well. Slicers have a lot of surface area, so there's generally a lot of residue and places for things to hide. Video, hopefully it's informative and it helps you know how to use the slicer correctly.
What do you think the key is to slicer safety?
Wash fingers.
What do you think the most important part of slicer safety is?
Washing your fingers.
What do you think the most important thing for slicer safety is?
Slicer safety, don't cut your finger off.
Josh, what do you think the most important thing is in slicer safety?
I am so not doing this with you. Please don't. Get
Come
out.
on, what's the most important thing? Josh, what's the most important thing for slicer safety?
Make sure you close the blade before you clean it.
Tim, what do you think the most important thing about slicer safety is?
Always set it back to 0 and turn it off when you're not using it.
Hey.
Shiga, what do you think the most important thing about slicer safety is?
I would say keeping your hands and fingers away from the blade.
Thanks for joining us for this week's episode of Team Training.